Hello, everyone, and welcome back. So, you're on the Duchess of Unicorn YouTube channel, and as you know, I hope you know that this channel discusses everything British royals, strictly as it pertains to Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. Now, there's not a lot of news today, on the 13th of April, Monday, coming out on Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, at least not what I can see. What I'm seeing on my browser is a lot of regurgitated stuff. But there's some of us who look at the regurgitated stuff and we think, I have comments on that. I have a feeling. I'm feeling some sort of way on some of the headlines that are coming through. And, if you're like me, you're suspicious of what the headlines say and what is in between all the words. That space in between the words speaks volumes, sometimes more than the words in a headline. So today I am just going to peruse with you. I want this to be a more succinct video. So let's pick TMZ's Mel Gibson's mansion for sale. But Prince Harry and Meghan did not buy it. Like, we really care if they buy it or not. But my thoughts are, Prince Charles said he would donate for security 2 million, I think. Correct me if it's 20 or 2 million. 2 million. And they're house hunting. And I'm thinking, why are you house hunting if you really aren't? Well, Meghan Markle is an American citizen, but Prince Harry is not. And Meghan Markle did not want to be a citizen of the UK. She never really made that happen. It does take years anyway, but she was out of there. So why would Prince Harry want to be a citizen of the United States? Well, if the real truth comes out, the United States is nothing more than an extension of the UK. The British monarch herself, I'm sure if we thumbed through her paperwork, ancient paperwork, we'd find that the United States still does belong to the monarchy. And I can tell you that there's many, many, many Commonwealth states here in the United States that do have streets and other things that are named after the British royals, just different references. And of course, we know the Boston Tea Party, and we're all hoaxed, I think, into thinking that the United States isn't an extension of some sort, way, or shape of the monarchy, the British monarchy, and what they own in terms of them owning or having a piece of. As a matter of fact, I had been watching a Jeffery Epstein video. I will try to find it in my history and then post the link below. It was Fox News or somebody speaking about the whole Jeffery Epstein. It was a whole thing. I don't know how I even watched it. But what was more important was within that video, there was a person, a reporter, a news journalist, who said that she had brought her evidence and different interviews to her bosses, and her bosses said, hell no, you're not going to do this interview. It's not vetted enough, and it isn't ready, and it was squashed. And they had her talking, which she didn't know she was on the mic, supposedly. They had her speaking about it to maybe like a co-person, a co-anchor, or a friend on the set, or a set person, and she was saying how they wouldn't let her report on this and that they wanted her to, get more information. And it involved Prince Andrew. And some of the information that she had did speak of Prince Andrew, and that the network squashed it and said, she needs more, time, more evidence. It needs to be vetted. And what was interesting is she said that the palace, yes, the UK people, palace, monarchy, their people had called her, either her or her supervisors or her team, and had said, all kinds of threats that not to post this, not to put this on the air. And they had all different sorts of threats coming from the UK. palace, the UK palace, and she mentioned that. So if I have that link, I will put that in the description below just for, just to listen to it. Okay, so back to Meghan and Harry. Don't buy, okay, I'm sorry, didn't buy Mel Gibson's mansion, but they should. And my thought is again, Prince Charles is giving so much money to security. Like, I don't think they need it because they should be out and about, and nobody really would even care. And if she put her hair up and Prince Harry had a hat on, well, maybe a lot of people wouldn't even notice them. And if they did, wouldn't it be more publicity? And I think it would be more friendly publicity to see Prince Harry and Meghan walking around in LA, but you can't do that now. But I'm saying, wouldn't that be friendly publicity versus unfriendly publicity? I mean, I don't really understand the big thing about security and why Meghan feels she needs security, unless she needs security because she wants to seem like Princess Diana. Really, Meghan never needed security really before, and maybe one or two people because, she's a woman and she's walking around in heels and she's, oblivious to her surroundings. She just has flashes in her eyes, and maybe that's why she would need a security or two. But to talk about that they need this big buck security is kind of ridiculous, I think. Just stay home and have your security be in the house, one or two guys, and call it an effing day. So I don't really understand why this house shopping thing with Mel Gibson's house is so pertinent to put into the news. I'm sure they looked at other homes outside of Mel Gibson's house, but let's understand, Mel Gibson is Australian originally, I believe. He's an American actor, and he's been infamous for being a bad boy and going against, the powers that be and trying to do things his way and using his own creative force. So I wonder if that's why he's associated his house. Meghan supposedly looks at his house to buy, but here they're saying by TMZ that they did not buy it. There were reports last week that the Sussexes bought Mel Gibson's $14.5 million mansion. I thought they said it was $12 million that they bought it for, but whatever. And that's what I mean about hollyweird, is that nobody feels like they can be succinct in saying, this is what we know. It's always like they're throwing things out there and reporting on it. But when you think about it, how many times have you seen an article or something written about them or what they're doing, and then have another article the same day or hours later or weeks later saying something totally different? So how is it that the journalists and reporters can be allowed to put to print misguided information, and yet we, the smaller people who are reporting on things like I'm doing, reading in between the lines and talking about that stuff and giving commentary and opinions on it, are nailed to the cross about it, but yet the reporters and the journalists, the real ones, can just put something out there and it's not completely vetted. It is not completely true, and is always something else that comes out of it 2 days later. So who's fooling who? And I find it irritating that 1 minute it can say it's a $12 million mansion and it's Mel Gibson's, and then it's 14.5 million and they didn't buy it. It's like, did they buy it for 12? Did they buy it for 14.5? Is it Mel Gibson's? Why is it Mel Gibson's? Of the thousands of properties that are out there, Mel Gibson, and I want to say that Mel Gibson is very well known for being against the the wave of popularity. He always goes the way he wants to. He's very strong-willed, and he has actually been ousted from Hollywood for not playing the game. So it has been reported, but it's interesting that they draw a correlation between Meghan Markle buying Mel Gibson's property. He's from Australia. Australia is owned, quote unquote, by the monarchy, the British empire. And so even though, they supposedly give it back to them, but it's part of the Queen's lands. And I'm just thinking, why are we always pointing to some kind of hint in terms of people that Meghan will buy from or be associated with, etc., etc. So Mel Gibson's property, according to this article from TMZ, 5-bedroom beast of a home that has all the bells and whistles of prime real estate in LA, plus access to private beach club. The house has gone on and off the market several times over the years. Well, because people don't need that much property. They don't need that much to be responsible for 2 or 3 people. It's ridiculous and redundant. It's a waste of money. Hey, Meghan, why don't you put some of that money towards giving to a charity locally in LA? Why don't you do a PSA and also announce in a press release that you and Harriet are not going to buy a $12 million home or a $14 million home. You're going to do a little something, $300,000, $500,000 tops, because that's kind of where the market is. And, the rest you're going to donate to a charity, a real charity that's established and people know of. You'll never hear that, people. Okay. It wouldn't be a shocker if Harry and Meghan do buy something soon in LA. They both have deep ties to show business these days. No, they don't, TMZ. No, they don't. Meghan Markle was a B actress who is surfing on the cloud of clout from Prince Harry. And a lot of so-called feminists, and even those of us who are not announcing any feminist, regime here, we feel that using the clout of Prince Harry is just so typical of someone who is washed and ready to go away and just wants to surf that and kind of get back to the things that she feels she belongs with, even though her whole career she did not make much of being an actress, of having that said career. But now she feels that she can come into Hollywood and use Prince Harry's clout to perhaps get some kind of introductions or, because basically just because you're rich doesn't mean you're intelligent. Please remember that, people. It doesn't mean that you're intelligent. So if you have a lot of wealth, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are intelligent, more intelligent than anyone else. So in Prince Harry's case, being born into money, it can give you opportunities, but it's you who have to take them. And if he has been made to take these opportunities, did he really graduate? Did he really get the honors that he should have? Or was he given those because he is of a royal background? Think about it. Just think about it. It's just my idea. It's just my opinions, ideas, and thoughts. Okay, so I want to end this video by saying it's going to be really, really annoying to keep hearing bits and pieces, like a cookie trail, like a crumb trail for what Meghan is up to, until we see the major things. And like I've said in my previous videos, is that Archewell was like something that she had to come out with. She had to hurry up and tell somebody, this is how it's going to be. And in a pandemic, when everybody else is looking for money, food, worrying about bills, worrying about health, worrying about sustainability, and she comes out with, hey, everybody, hi, I'm over here. This is what I want to do. Look at Archewell. It's about my child, when it's really an anagram of her name and Prince Harry's name, or the whole name, Meghan Markle, or Meghan Windsor, Gotham Windsor, whatever. It's going to be an anagram of their names. Even it can be even also thought of an anagram between her and Prince Harry's name. So coming up with Archewell, with it's all this Greek meaning that says point of strength or whatever. The point is that she did not have to, it was not a necessity or even an interesting point to put it out in a time of a pandemic. Instead, maybe she could have, in my humble opinion, made a PSA or had a press release saying that she and Prince Harry are going to donate to XYZ, something a lot of, researching charities that people can relate to, can research and understand, instead of loaning her voice to some other organization, then that organization donating to this organization on behalf of Meghan and Harry, and we're all supposed to be in awe. You know what makes me think and somebody of a celebrity status is worth their salt is when they actually give their own hard-earned money to an organization directly. All right, everybody, I've said that before, so I won't beat the horse about it. But I will be back with another video on something more substantial. I'm trying to hang on to see what really piques my interest. This I thought was kind of interesting that they were putting it out there in another article saying they purchased Mel Gibson's home. And then today TMZ says they didn't buy Mel Gibson's home. I found it interesting because Mel Gibson is Australian, kind of circles back to the monarchy and the lands of the world that they own, the empire, and that he is also someone in Hollywood that's been persecuted and who has gone against the grain or the masses and has chosen his own route and has bounced back over the years and of course made some really interesting films like Apocalypto and The Passion of Christ, which when I watched The Passion of Christ many, many years ago changed my I just did a shift. It just shook me to the core to see the plight, reenacted of Jesus Christ. Or Jesus. So he's done movies like that, and he's done a couple of other movies that, not the Thunderdome and all that stuff, that Hollywood stuff, but these few movies, there's like a handful of movies he's done that, like again, Apocalypto, that really spoke volumes. And why is it that they're trying to relate Meghan Markle to anything related to Mel Gibson? Just wondering. That's how I read in between the lines. And so let me know if that makes any sense to you. I will see you in the next video. Have a good week. Bye-bye.